Today we're going to go ahead and find a perimeter of a figure on a chorded plane. Here we have a triangle. Point A is at -3, 2, B is at 4, 4, and C is at 0, -1. In order to find a perimeter, we'll just go ahead and find the distance of each side. Using our distance formula, we'll just go ahead and find the distance of one of these sides. Let's focus on side A to side B. I'm just going to highlight that side, and then we'll just go ahead and write out what we're looking for. For side 1, we have side AB. With that information, we do know that side A, or point A, is at -3, 2, and point B is at 4, 4. We'll just go ahead and write out our distance formula. And D is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Again, we do know that every ordered pair has an x and a y. And our 1's will go to our first ordered pair, and our 2's will go to our second ordered pair. With that information, all we need to do is substitute our numbers into our formula. So I'm just going to go ahead and substitute what we know. We do know that x2 is at 4. Then I see a minus sign, and I see x1, and x1 in this case is -3. I'll close up my parentheses. I'll put in my squared, the plus sign, and I'll open a second parenthesis. Now I have y2, which is 4. I see the minus sign again. And then I have y1. In this case, y1 will be 2. I'll close up my parentheses, put in the square, and I'm done substituting. Now I just need to go ahead and do the math. I'll keep the square root, and I need to go ahead and do 4 minus -3. 4 minus -3 will give me 7. I'll keep the squared and the plus sign. Now I need to do 4 minus 2, and that is going to give me 2. Now again, I'll keep the squared. Now I'm going to go ahead and find out what is 7 squared. 7 squared will give me 49, because 7 times 7 is 49. I'll keep the plus sign, and 2 squared means 2 times 2, which gives us 4. We'll just go ahead and add those two numbers together. 49 plus 4 will give us 53. So now I have the square root of 53. Since I'm finding the perimeter, I will need to go ahead and write this out in decimal form. So if I go ahead and find the square root of 53, I could go ahead and pull out my calculator, and the square root of 53 will give us 7.28011, and in our particular class, we will be rounding it to the nearest tenth, which gives us 7.3. I'm just going to box that information because I will need that later on. So I've completed side 1. Now I need to go ahead and take a look at side 2. Side 2 could be any of the other two sides, and I'm just going to go ahead and highlight another side, and I'm going to focus on side B to C. You could also call it C to B. It actually doesn't really matter which side you call it, because the distance from B to C is going to be the same distance from C to B. So let's go ahead and try this side, side 2. And side 2 is from B to C, and I do need those ordered pairs. The ordered pair of B we already know is 4, 4, and C is 0, -1. Again, we'll just go ahead and use our distance formula to find the distance of that side. And I'll write out the formula again. D is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Again, every ordered pair has an x and a y, so I'll just go ahead and write that above these. And the first ordered pair will be our 1's. Our second ordered pairs will be our 2's. Like the first side, we'll just go ahead and substitute our information. In this particular case here, x2 happens to be 0. Minus x1, which is 4. Close up a parentheses, put it into 2, 4 squared. The plus sign and open up another set of parentheses, and then we have y2, which is negative 1, minus y1, which happens to be 4. Close up the parentheses, put into square, and we're done with our substitution. Again, we'll do the math inside. 0 minus 4 will give us negative 4. We'll keep the squared. The plus sign. And we have negative 1 minus 4, which gives us negative 5. And again, we'll keep the squared. We'll just square each of those. Negative 4 squared means negative 4 times negative 4, which gives us positive 16. And negative 5 squared means negative 5 times negative 5, which gives us positive 25. All we need to do is add those two numbers together, and that'll give us 41. So now we have the square root of 41. And once again, we do need to go ahead and write it in decimal form so that we can go ahead and find that perimeter. And again, I'll take out my calculator. We'll find out the square root of 41 to be 6.4. We have one more side that we do need to take a look at, and that side happens to be side AC or CA. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this last side, and again we'll go ahead and call it side 3. And side 3 is from A to C or C to A, and again it doesn't really matter. We'll just go ahead and go alphabetical order and call it AC. Again, side A has point A, which is negative 3, 2, and C is at 0, negative 1. We'll use the distance formula one more time, and we have D is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Every ordered pair has an x and a y. So we have an x and a y here, an x and a y here. And again, the first ordered pair will be our 1's, our second ordered pairs will be our 2's. We'll just substitute our information into our formula. And in this particular problem, we have x2 being 0 minus x1, which is negative 3, squared, plus y2, which happens to be negative 1. I forgot my parentheses there. Oops. It should be a minus. Minus y1, which happens to be 2. Close up the parentheses, put in the square. We'll just go ahead and do the math now. 0 minus negative 3 will give me positive 3. We'll keep the squared. Plus negative 1 minus 2 will give us negative 3. We'll keep the squared. Three squared means 3 times 3, which gives us 9. And negative 3 squared means negative 3 times negative 3, which also gives us 9. We'll just add those two together, and we get the square root of 18. So once again, I do need to change it into decimal form, so I'll pull out my calculator one more time. The square root of 18 is going to give us 4.2. So what we just found are the distances of all three sides. And in order to find the perimeter, what we need to do is add them. So we just need to add our three sides that we know, 7.3 plus 6.4 plus 4.2. And if we add all those together, we end up with 17.9 units. The perimeter of this triangle, ABC, is 17.9 units.